For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
Yes, y'all. Welcome into episode 51 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Gentlemen, don't adjust. I am still in the same shirt from last night. So if you guys tuned in for the Dumb Marks After Dark episode last night, thanks for tuning in. Don't adjust your set. This is not a replay. It is a brand new day. But I got to tell you, I woke up, sun was shining. Came downstairs, made the kids and myself a smoothie. Put in the AirPods and did a little vacuuming, some cleaning around the house. Had the R&B on, the Motown on, was in my cleaning bag, and then I realized, oh shit, it's 10 to 11. I got to get downstairs for a podcast. So that is the exact reason why I am in the same shirt and everything else. And that's how you get into that groove, and that Pandora starts playing them hits one after the other. You lose track of time real quick. Real quick. So how's everybody doing? Beautiful day outside. Beautiful weekend. We started the weekend off with a bang last night. We covered AEW Rampage and Dynamite, so that won't be included in Bell to Bell this week, but we got the CM Punk talk out of the way. And for those of you that listened last night, thanks for tuning in. For those of you that didn't, go over to our YouTube page, subscribe, check the bell, follow along, rewatch that episode, and just to prove that I'm fucking right all the time on this show. These three marks said last night wasn't a game-changing moment, but yet, Donald, what was going across all the news channels, tickers this morning, and everything else? Say it again for me, please.
Roman Reigns versus John Cena.
What?
CM Punk was on the national news on the bottom ticker on every.
Not a game-changing moment. Don't worry about it. I mean, he's only on WTAE, CBS, ABC, CA.
And people were like, who is this CM Punk?
It's not a game-changing moment.
I said the moment was game-changing, but for me personally, I don't care to see him wrestle again.
And it wasn't that I don't think that it couldn't be a game-changing moment. I don't think that you can hit it on that head. Like that's
Listen.
That's just typical fans. Like, oh, this moment's awesome.
See that? That's an L. Take the L. Like you guys are good for doing. Like you doing one got to go every week.
When Dominic turns on Ray.
Oh Jesus!
Game changing.
What a dichotomy! Like if that doesn't encapsulate the difference between AEW and WWE right now, that statement right there, when Dominic turns on Ray.
It holds that weight.
Holds that weight. So, bell to bell this week, we'll break down both SummerSlam and NXT, get you guys right for those shows, prediction wise and whatnot. Got a little fun little SummerSlam matchup list to go over at the end of that, and we'll get into all the regular shits and giggles that we normally do each and every single week. So, with that being said, before we jump into bell to bell, does anybody got anything they want to cover in the intro?
Two quick gaming things. Sony, they are the owner of Funimation, which is an anime app, and they bought out their competition this week, Crunchyroll. So now Sony owns all American versions of the animes, and they are planning to merge both Funimation and Crunchyroll into a all animation anime app. And what's important about it in gaming, they're talking about rolling it out on the PSN Plus. So what does that mean for Sony subscribers? Our subscription from $60 might get bumped up a little bit without our approval.
So did Sony do to anime what Marvel did to Sony Marvel Disney did to Fox with buying up all the Marvel titles?
Yes, they did.
All the superheroes. Minus DC.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
Cornered the market on it.
They cornered it all. Yep. So everything got to run through Sony now for anime purposes, subtitles through America and all that. So
my kids are huge into anime. like I watched Dragon Ball Z here and there growing up, but I don't even know if you would call that true anime. But I never really got into all that. I mean, I've gotten into it more just because they're involved with it. So being a good parent, I figure out what my kids like, so I know what the hell they're watching, and making sure it's not anime of a different kind that they shouldn't be watching given their age.
What kind of anime is that?
It's an After Dark episode. We won't go there, but I'm just saying, yeah. It's huge though. Like now,
it is. It's very big.
Because that you see you can tell we're getting old because the generation shift with stuff. But like when you have pro athletes now talking about, I don't know who so and so is because all I watch is anime. It's like, okay, like the different shift in that sense. So I mean, I guess that is what pro wrestling was for us growing up, or even like I know like the Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles, like that type of stuff. Even though anime is a whole big spectrum and covers a lot of different stuff. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And the last gaming thing I had is One Up Arcade. So that's the company that putting out all the arcades of retro gaming and stuff. They were releasing the Simpsons arcade one this year.
I got this. I have the Street Fighter cabinet. I bought it for my son for his birthday a couple years ago. I wanted to get the NBA Jam one, but that one was like $700 or $800. Yeah, it was it's a 4-player. Okay. So like, and the Simpsons one's a 4-player too.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that one's going to be right in that price range. And Ninja Turtles one's a 4-player one. That's the one I really want, is the Ninja Turtle one.
Mm-hmm. So like the 3 big 4 or 6-player ones, which was X-Men, Simpsons, and Ninja Turtles, are all going to be out.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is very cool. Mm-hmm.
Did they put that one out?
What'd you say?
Did they put that X-Men one out?
Yes, they did.
The big X-Men?
X-Men vs. Capcom? Yeah, that one's out. Yeah, so like I know that the Mortal Kombat one was like when I got the Street Fighter one, I think it was like $250.
Mm-hmm. That's sweet.
Mortal Kombat was around $252, and I mean they're sweet setups. Like it's 2 people can stand there and play it. You know what I mean? You actually feel like you're back in the day playing arcade. Like graphics are the same, music, everything. Like they did a banged up job with them for sure. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what price tag that Simpsons one comes along with.
Mm-hmm. That's all I have for gaming.
Can you get fired from a job before you start? Because apparently that's what happened on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
So we've been calling it a sham for weeks. We're calling it a farce, a fugazi. This jagoff, for lack of a better term, gets hired and fired based on comments that he said on a podcast way back when, and some other scandals. But Mike Richards is out as host of Jeopardy. However, he still remains on as executive producer. So, I mean, if you want to talk about privilege, we won't have him in front of the camera, but he'll still be
the boss
behind the camera. Yeah,
he'll still be the boss.
Yeah, so take that for what you will. But I mean, I guess they'll run some celebrity people out there again. I don't know what they're going to do now.
Yeah, they said that it's going to be guest host again. They didn't say for how long, but
God, the show is such a mess now.
LeVar Burton?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay with him. He got time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know Rogers wants to do it, and he made that clear and evident. Taping during the season would be difficult, but I don't know who they're going to get, so we'll see. But yeah, Fugazi. I get fired before you get started. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Trying to think. I don't know if I saw anything else intro-wise that caught my eye this week.
I had 2 more things. Disney's consider buying out Sony's rights to Spider-Man and all of their characters, so they could bring Spider-Man back under the umbrella of Marvel altogether. And number being thrown out there is $5 $4 to $5 billion for the Spider-Man rights.
Now, would that allow them to acquire Hulk too, so they can do a standalone Hulk movie, or no? Does Sony own Hulk, or does somebody else own Hulk?
Disney has him.
But they can't do a Hulk single something. There's something with Hulk. Somebody
That Sony
else
probably owns.
Yeah, that won't allow him to have a standalone movie, which is why we haven't seen one since Edward Norton, because that wasn't,
that's interesting. I thought it was all under that.
That's fine. I don't need a single Hulk movie.
Hulk's my favorite, so
there's two movies that they could do that would be real interesting, based on comic books.
I wonder if that would give them, if that would take Venom rights too.
It will take everything, everything under Spider-Man, like all their characters. That will snatch everything Spider-Man back under the Marvel umbrella. And MLB is ending their licensing deal with Topps Cards.
I saw that.
Yeah, and Fanatics is going to be the company that does the cards now for them. So 70 years.
We'll talk about somebody that's cornering the market, Fanatics.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there might be some rumors to having him wanting to get into the NFL and purchase an NFL franchise. So we'll see what comes about with that moving forward with their CEO.
Speaking of MLB, I saw that this week they signed a deal with WWE. And they're going to start producing WWE Championship replica belts for all the teams. So like how WWE does the side plates for the winners every year for sporting events. Beautiful. Now they're going to start selling stuff for MLB.
Another bag.
Yeah.
Hey, can't be mad at it. Like, it is what it is. Like, get the money. You're already sending a belt to the team. You might as well let the fans purchase a belt too.
Exactly.
So like it's no different than like back in the day when Sports Illustrated used to put out the DVD and the football with the record for the Super Bowl champions and that in the magazine. Like, I bought that when the Steelers won. When they won their first one. Back in 2008.
Forgot
Hulk
they
is Universal.
Yep, there you go. Thanks, Herdo.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew there was something. With Hulk. That's why he's allowed in Avengers and that, because it's a group movie.
But not by himself.
Can't have a standalone one.
Okay.
Speaking of, real quick on Marvel, just to touch base, rumors and reports are coming out that Marvel is trying to do a Secret Wars movie. Yay, nay? I think
I don't know the story, but
it'll be a good story. It'll be like Endgame. They have to have everybody in it. Yeah.
Phase 5.
I think it would be dope to do that. I don't know if you could do it just in one phase. Like, to me, that's like another, Thanos arc that took 3 phases to complete in 10 years worth of movies.
Yeah, it's a lot. Secret Wars is a lot.
And then also, I saw this, and this is just was a huge pop for me when I saw this. But Clerks 3 is back, and the first look brings Dante and Randall together again. So if you're a fan of Clerks, Chasing Amy, Mallrats, Jane Silent Bob, any of those Kevin Smith movies, Clerks 3 is in the works. So we will get that sooner rather than later, and I will appreciate it because I'm a mark for those movies.
Those are good movies.
They are.
I just rewatched Mallrats like 2 weeks ago, and it's still just like
so holds up.
For me, it does, but again, like, I was such a fan of those movies that, like, some of the humor in it's like, all right, like, I could tell what age I was when I watched them, but I still popped and laughed for stuff just like I did whenever I watched it the first time. So I think that was all I had for the intro. Oh wait, food item that will get you guys. Snacks R Us, Jason. And Ian's a fan of ramen noodles or cup of noodles.
No,
not cup.
No.
So
I like it.
That was college days. Easy rack ramen noodles, broke in the dorm room, microwavable, easy to do. Right. Cup of noodles will come out with pumpkin spice.
No. No.
no.
There you go.
That's not what the flavor packet's for.
The pumpkin apocalypse is on us, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like a white girl with leggings and UGG boots on the other day. I got a pumpkin cream Dunkin' cold brew, and man, was it delicious! Oh, it was. Got me right into the fall season, even though it's the end of August.
Still got a couple more weeks of summer.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, dude, all right. There's some things that like can't add pumpkin to everything, man. Like it just doesn't work. But yeah, so that's all I had intro wise.
I know you guys watch Versus. I saw Damon Wayans wants to do a comedian versus battle with Dave Chappelle.
So
how would you do that?
Yeah, you can't Versus. You can't really do that. It works in the music format because, you can have song versus song, and it's, you know what I mean? Like, you can actually pick a winner, but I don't know how you could.
I mean, unless you're going at each other,
joke versus
roasting each other, you can't pull out your best jokes.
That's a different thing.
Like Rick James, bitch, and then
yeah.
What was it?
You can't pull out
the Clown. Yeah.
What was the popular thing that celebrities were doing? Like rap battle could be something like that.
You can't. I don't see that working for a comedy format.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you're doing like Jay said, unless you're up there roasting each other, but then that's a whole different thing.
Your mama.
Yeah,
it'll be that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can't have Chappelle up there doing his baby in a diaper selling them drugs versus Jamie Foxx doing Mike Tyson. Like it doesn't work for me. So
if they would do it, I'd tune in.
Yeah, I mean if they do it, I would tune in to laugh, but I don't know if it would be like a versus to say, oh, you're funnier than him. You know what I mean? Like,
and then to me, each of them's funnier in different aspects. Like to me, Dave is funnier on stage. Damon's funnier in movies to me, and TV shows. I wasn't really a fan of his stand-up on like that.
No, but yeah, I mean, so you want to talk about a family that's left an impact on an industry, and the Wayans brothers, man.
Yeah.
You're talking decades worth of material and shows and movies and everything else that's been out there. So
I think everybody should have at least one Wayans movie in their collection.
That
probably does.
That may lead to a One Gotta Go here sooner rather than later with a little Wayans edition.
If you haven't seen, HBO Max picked up some of their stuff. So like the Wayans brothers TV show is now on there, and then this week Marlon Wayans has a new stand-up special on HBO Max.
All right. Cool. Hey, the Wayans brothers were responsible for probably my first and biggest crush with Mo Money, with Stacey Dash. Don't kill me. Stacey Dash now is
come on back.
That's a different thing. Stacey Dash now, but man, them
back then,
that movie with them green eyes, and it was game over. Game over for me. As you can see, I never really grew out of that phase. But all right. Anybody got anything else? We got a lot to cover in bell to bell, breaking down these pay-per-views and getting everybody ready for the show, and then we'll get into the rest of the segments as we normally do.
I got a couple snacks, but Jason, go ahead.
I have Peacock is starting up a Field of Dreams series. Not sure who's interested in that. New Spawn is in the works. New Spawn and Expendables 4 is set to start filming. Rumored to start filming in October.
Same cast. Same cast.
You got to add somebody extra.
Hey,
in it already.
Hey, that's your old man, Fast and the Furious. We'll keep going.
They're going to the moon.
They're gonna add Goldberg. He's the new guy.
Please, yes.
Stop putting that stuff into the atmosphere.
Yeah. Take them, please.
And there's only one person to cast for that Spawn series, and if they don't do it,
that's what they said. You got to bring him back.
You got to bring him back.
Yeah,
you have to. And he was the the one person that was safe on our Americans with black belts edition of One Gotta Go last week. So
I have a feeling it's a reboot, so you might not get him.
Yeah, I can't do Spawn without him, especially if it's like a live action. But hey, we'll see what they do. They surprise me with somebody else.
How are the Oreos, Jason?
They are good. Killed them all already.
That didn't take long at all.
I know Steve threw out the joke, but I did like the golden Oreos over the over the chocolate ones.
And I came right. I saw that door open, and I came right in with, you like everything golden more than you do chocolate. So, yep. Opposite ends of the spectrum for the two. All right. Anything else?
Just a couple snacks. Cheetos is coming out with the Nashville hot flavor. So that just keeps going on with their flaming hot stuff. McDonald's is coming out with donuts for for morning breakfast. They're going to be like the Munchkins, yeah. And then the one that I found interesting, we talked a little while ago that Wendy's in Canada was getting a strawberry frosty. It is coming to the United States, but it's only going to be at Wendy's at Walmart. So apparently McDonald's is closing a lot of stores in Walmart.
Really?
And Wendy's is moving right in. So
Wendy's was in Walmart.
Yeah, I've never seen one, but they said it's going to be, I guess, a little bit more of a limited menu for better quick service, and they're going to have jalapeno popper chicken nuggets, and then the strawberry frosty will be a Walmart exclusive.
I'm not driving to Walmart to get a strawberry frosty.
No.
If we even have any around here.
Yeah. I knew there was some Subways in Walmarts, but
the two I go to, are Subways.
So, all right, is that it for the intro?
That's all I got.
All right, let's break down some WWE and get excited for Summer So. All right, bell to bell this week. Again, heavy on the WWE just because we got 2 pay-per-views this weekend. SummerSlam is tonight, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Pre-show at 7.
Feels weird.
NXT's tomorrow night. It's odd that they flip-flopped the two, but due to venue and bookings and everything else with having SummerSlam out in Las Vegas, they had to run the show on Saturday instead of Sunday. Don't know what else Vegas has booked for Sunday, but it is what it is. So SummerSlam on a Saturday night. You guys excited for it? You pumped up for it? 10-match card. Huge card.
The day is already long, so.
They didn't announce any pre-show.
I got to start getting ready.
I'm excited for it
after this, Jason.
I'm excited for it because it's WWE's second biggest show, so I'm all for it. Always for SummerSlam.
We'll get through this lineup, and I don't know if you can say it's the second biggest show, but
well, I mean the card wise, I'm talking show wise is the second biggest. So
the card, I'm not all that crazy just looking at it up and down, but it being outdoors, Vegas, large stadium, that has me a little excited to see if they pull off a decent show with the card that they have.
Well, I mean, the stadium is outdoors, but the match itself is inside the stadium, so it's not outdoors like a stadium, like your regular stadium show.
Same shit.
All right, let's do SummerSlam first, since that's the biggest, and that's going off tonight. So we'll do SummerSlam, and then we'll jump over to NXT because there's a little bit more of a conversation to have around NXT besides just breaking down matches, given that state. So let's jump into SummerSlam. Before we wrap over and jump into NXT, like I said, we got a fun little list to talk about and discuss for SummerSlam specific matches. We'll get the opinions of the 4 marks here, and you guys can weigh in with us on social media when we do that. So let's kick it off. Let's get into. I'm assuming this is in no particular order. We're just running down the match card, right?
Yeah, we'll just run down the match card. There's 7 championship matches and 3 non-title matches. So let's start we'll do the non-title first, then we'll move into championship. So let's just get this one out of the way. Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie.
Who dropped turns?
I didn't even know they were fighting.
This has been a fart in church. Everything's been set up and built around a doll that has powers. And in 2021, I can't get behind that in my wrestling. Just can't. Like a winking doll. That's really what we're doing here. A doll that raises up back on her feet after getting knocked over like she's mini Undertaker. I just can't. Not for me. Yeah, not for me. I don't even know if Eva Marie will actually wrestle in this match. The shenanigans that they've done. I think they've completely dropped the ball on her since she's come back. They did it. They haven't done it the way that I thought they would have. When they could have just carried over her heat from when she was with the company previously. But this whole thing just needs to end. And this isn't even the right feud for Alexa Bliss. To me, you have a superhero as your champion. And you have Alexa Bliss, who's in that dark, you could have that Joker Batman-esque Dark Knight type storyline if you wanted to between them two, which may play out better than what people expect. You can knock the creative team in their writing for that, but I don't need Eva Marie and Alexa Bliss in a match in 2021. But I'll go with Alexa Bliss because Eva Marie's not going to beat her.
I didn't even know this match was happening because I don't watch Raw, so I'm just picking Alexa.
I don't really care about the match. Everything Steve said.
I'm gonna go with Eva.
I'll go with Alexa.
You going with Eva Marie just because?
Yeah.
No rhyme or reason. Nowhere to take her moving forward.
Because that's his girl.
Somewhere, no. I mean, even when she loses, she claims the match. But something with Dewdrop. I'm not sure if either she turns or she just beats up. She ragdolls Alexa.
All right. Not off to a hot start to get people excited for a show, I can tell you that.
Well, let's move into another mediocre one. Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal.
This had potential to be a compelling story, given their history.
Mm.
But
are you
instead of telling a compelling story and getting people invested based off of the history these two had together, they made this match based on the story of, oh, you stole my sword and oh, you broke my motorcycle. That's literally what the story was built on. Jinder stole Drew's sword, which is named after his mother who battled cancer and everything else, but I thought the sword was made from the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster, so I guess Drew named the sword after the tooth of the Loch Ness Monster after his mother who battled cancer, and the whole thing's just...
The whole story was a troll. The tooth in the Loch Ness Monster. He was laughing while he was telling you guys it. Because you already know.
But you can't troll us and then all of a sudden on a dime turn around and give me this serious story and meaning behind the sword and the name of the sword. Like, once you troll us, you got to continue to troll us.
And this should have been how it was, using that storyline, like you said.
So I don't care. I don't care about this at all. To me, Drew is so far from...
This is where you wanted Drew, though. This is where everybody wanted Drew.
No, this is not where...
Out of the picture.
Out of the picture, yes. But you gotta be in a better storyline. And you stole my sword and I broke up your bike.
Because any other storyline gets them back into the championship picture.
They do have a U.S. title. Just saying, they do have a U.S. title.
You don't need the U.S. title.
Drew's gonna win because it's Drew. I don't think they put over Jinder here.
No.
So I'll go with McIntyre with the Claymore.
I'm just going Drew, just cause.
I can't believe that stable with Shanky in it. So
who has the worst names? Veer and Shanky or T-Bar and Slapjack? Who got the worst of the name draw there?
Shanky.
Veer and Shanky are just terrible.
I don't mind Veer.
You don't mind the name Veer?
No.
That's a terrible pro wrestling name.
Nah.
Veer what? Veer right? Veer left? It sounds like you kicked the football with the legs out.
Yeah, but there's like is that normal names in their heritage? I don't know.
Shanky's not. I can tell you that much. I don't know. Yeah, people, our India army over there, listen to us in India. Let us know. Hit us up and let us know if Veer and Shanky are names that are standard to Indian culture over there. Because if they are, we apologize. But if not, what the hell are we doing with Veer and Shanky as their names?
Is the other guy still in the company?
I don't know, and I don't care. It's like out of sight.
They were better as a tag team. They were good. They were believable.
But they ran them for 2 seconds, and then that was it. They had 2 or 3 matches in NXT, and that was it.
Well, my man spoiled a show, a whole ass show, and you ain't seen them since.
Consequences.
Them's the breaks.
Yeah. So, all right. What we got? Drew for me. Donald, you said Drew.
I said Drew.
Mm-hmm. Drew.
Yeah. I mean, shit like this. This is the reason why I don't watch Raw. It's just this is why I know WWE isn't for me anymore. It's these storylines. But I'm gonna go with Drew just to pick somebody.
Next.
The hottest singles non-title match: Edge versus Seth Rollins.
So I was all for this match until last night.
What threw you off?
It didn't add anything to the match. I thought it was the worst played promos against each other going for on a go home show the night before pay-per-view. Edge's promo, while believable and everything else, and he foreshadowed the brood and the blood boiling and turning black and everything else and all that, but like, why is it that Seth Rollins is making you turn back into the brood version of Edge? Like, what made you so vicious whenever you were in the brood that like Seth Rollins should be fearful and worried? Like, to me, that character wasn't like somebody that I was like scared of or any, you know what I mean? Like, they came out through a circle of fire and then they dropped fake blood on people. Like, that's not something that's going to get me scared to face you if you revert back to that character. Like,
And they did it the night before.
Yeah, and you do it.
Don't give you a couple of weeks. Why? No, they just give you the night before.
Thought it was just two. I thought it was
a different version of himself. That's all.
Two segments, but it's not like Balor.
He ain't gonna come out with the blouse on.
So who's he come out tonight as? Does he come out as Brood?
He's not coming out with the blouse
as Radar Superstar.
Well, then why do it?
Yeah,
because it's a part of him.
But you just give it to us the night before. You just sprung it on us. For what reason?
Haven't done it in 20 years, but tonight, just for one night, we're gonna do it.
He's just showing you he can dig deeper. That's all.
You are such a WWE loyalist. It's unbelievable. This was probably the match that I was most excited for, based off of what they've done up to last night, and then last night they fucking shit on it. So I'm gonna go with Seth. Actually, I'm gonna go with Seth.
I think Edge needs this.
I want to go with
because he lost the Roman. He lost the Mania. He lost the the singles championship run. So you think Edge needs to win?
A loss doesn't hurt Edge. I mean, it doesn't hurt Seth.
I want to go with Seth, but I think they're going to pander to the Legends thing. He hasn't won in a while. Edge is going to win.
If you're gonna build to Seth versus Roman, Seth needs in that he's the heir to the Universal Championship, not Edge. So this is like a de facto number one contenders match. Even though we know that's not how WWE does number one contenders matches, because they do number one contenders matches with the contender facing the champion, which they did with the women's tag team titles last night for the third time, even though Tegan and Shotzi were number one contenders based off of the contenders championship match that they won previously.
Donald, I completely see where you're coming from with that, thinking that where they're going to go with Edge. I want Seth to win. If they've been teasing Roman Seth for a little while, I'd like to see this go somewhere. I'd like to see him win tonight so that he can get into that story. If he calls it. All right, we'll get into our first title shot of the night. U.S. title, Sheamus versus Damian Priest.
Sheamus.
Damian Priest.
Sheamus.
I don't care about either of these, but I'll go Sheamus.
Same here. I don't care about the match at all. Sheamus.
I like Sheamus. I hate Damian Priest.
Priest is going to win this.
Doesn't
Probably.
He probably would.
All right. Next, we'll go into the Raw Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles and Almost versus RK Bro.
So I saw, and I don't know, I didn't have time to research this to see how true this was or not, but apparently Almost and Dominic Mysterio are the only two individuals that are under the age of 30 or 35 that are wrestling on this card tonight.
Wow.
And I can't remember what, I don't remember if it was 30 or if it was 35. And I wanted to
Probably
look that
30.
up. But that's, yeah, because I'm not sure, like, if Bianca, how old Bianca and Charlotte are.
Same with Alexa.
Yeah, Alexa. So, yeah, that's.
You got to be under 30 because I think Alexa just turned 30 or something like that.
Wow.
That's a little telling.
It is.
When you look across the landscape of wrestling and some of these people that are on these shows and their ages. But to me, I don't like how they got to Riddle and Orton based off of Riddle being off or Orton being off TV as long as he was. And then to me, the ending of it just felt rushed because he was off for 7 weeks, came back. They quote unquote broke up, even though I said it on the show last week that it wasn't a breakup. It was Orton teaching Riddle a lesson. And then they got back together and now they're a team. You gotta go Orton Riddle here. It fits the story. Give them the belts. Now you can elevate AJ back up into the main title picture. You can, have him go face and have him go up against Lashley. So
do you keep Almost with him?
You can keep him
as muscle.
AJ need to be in a title picture soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was only so long that you could have, Nash. You can have Diesel and Shawn together before you had to see what Diesel could do.
Mm-hmm.
And Almost is nowhere near as experienced as Diesel was at that point in time in his career. But at some point, you got to say, all right, sink or swim. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Sink.
I'm going with RK Bro.
Same here.
RK Bro.
RK Bro.
I'd rather have AJ and Almost keep it, but yeah, RK Bro. Go to the next one, probably the match that will end up being on the pre-show. SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus Dominic and Rey Mysterio.
I tweeted out this spoiler last night, and I'm going to continue to ride this train. The Usos will win, and Dominic will turn on his father tonight. They've been teasing it for weeks. Him stepping out, doing things against Rey. It's last night they added on to that with him trying to get the win against for Rey, doing the slide under the bottom rope with the foot on his back, and the referee caught him, and then he got tossed, and that's how Rey ended up losing the match. Tonight I think it'll blow up, and it needs to. You have to, again, sink or swim time, Dom. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So turn on your father, you instantly become a heel, and let's see what you can do with it. So Usos to retain.
Usos to retain. Can't stand the Mysterios.
I do like that Dominic has progressed, but he can still go. He can still him and Papa Ray can still hit the brakes.
It makes no sense to take the tag titles off the Usos. Keep it on them. We'll go into our first women's championship. We'll start with the Raw, the triple threat match that everybody's looking forward to. Champion Nikki Ash versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
I'm so over this. Rhea and Charlotte have been wrestling for the Raw Women's title since WrestleMania at every single pay-per-view.
And Raw.
So April, May, June, July. 5 straight months of them two. And we'll sprinkle Nikki in for something different, but it's still the same people. Asuka hasn't been seen since Money in the Bank. She's healthy. She was at Raw last week, but left early after she realized that she wasn't going to be used. So,
that's a shame.
I don't.
3 hours and you can't fit her on the program.
This is the only women's storyline that they've told, that they've run with. So the build hasn't been great. It's been done so much that I just don't even care about it. Again, I don't know what their big picture is with Nikki as the champion. If you have her lose tonight, was it a worthless run? I don't think so, but it doesn't help her character if she loses tonight. Mm-hmm. So if she's the superhero that overcomes the odds, well, build on that to where she overcomes a 2-on-1. Which essentially I could see this being Charlotte and Rhea doubling up on her to get her out of the picture and them two focus on each other. But I don't care. I'll go with Nikki just because.
Rhea, the fans seem to really still be behind her. She gets the pop.
I haven't picked this title match the last 3 prediction shows, and I'm still not going to because I have no interest in this at all. I don't care who wins. I really don't.
That seems to be the theme from the Raw side of the card.
I don't care. This title is so worthless to me. It is.
Part of the reason why they don't need to have 2 champions. Just have one women's champion. Just like you don't need 2 main titles. I'm gonna go with Nikki. I don't. The character doesn't do anything for me because I'm not the audience for that character. But I like Nikki.
You're not a 6 or 7-year-old little girl.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, up until this week, they had no merch for Nikki. And she had been doing this character for a while, so they finally did add some merch for it. It's on pre-order, but it's like, maybe that's a sign that they are going to continue with this for a bit with her as champ. So I'll go with Nikki. There you go. All right, we'll head over to the SmackDown side. SmackDown Women's Championship: Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks.
Cards subject to change, because all indications, even though they still had this graphic up last night, I have no idea what's going on with Sasha Banks to where she hasn't been around. I mean, obviously the first thing you jump to is COVID, and hopefully not, but given the times and the strangeness of it and them being so secretive as to why, they held them 2 off the live event last weekend and just said it was due to unforeseen circumstances. She wasn't at SmackDown last night. They're still pumping this match out. So I'll go card subject to change, and then if she can't go, maybe this is where they break the emergency glass and pull the tab down on Becky Lynch and have Becky come out to face Bianca.
Okay.
Interesting.
Because you're not gonna take the match off the card altogether. I think they want to have Bianca on SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Having taken her off, even though, like, again, it could be no fault of her own. And not saying that it's Sasha's fault, but you know what I mean. So yeah, if Banks can't go, I think that's what they do.
And if you do that, people won't bitch about that.
They'll bitch about everything.
Come back and get the title shot.
Yeah.
Bitch about everything.
But your options are limited. Like you just ran Carmella and Zelina Vega in back-to-back matches last night, so you can't have one of them come out. Bianca beat them both last night. What are you going to do? Make it a triple threat? Then you have a triple threat on the Raw side and a triple threat on the women's side. Like,
no, don't do that.
If Sasha can't go, you're really limited with what your options are.
Because you haven't been showcasing Tony at all. Haven't been showcasing Liv at all. So they put themselves in the corner.
Tony debuted July 23rd and hasn't been seen on SmackDown since. Liv hasn't been seen since Money in the Bank. So
we got what? We have Bianca, Sasha, we have Natalya and Tamina as the tag champs. You got Carmella and Zelina last night. So is that it? Tony, Liv, Shotzi, and
Shotzi and Tegan
Tegan.
beat Natalie and Tamina last night on SmackDown.
Is that it?
Again.
Is that the women's roster
That's it.
on SmackDown? Okay.
Yeah, they put themselves in the corner.
Yeah. So then, if you do bring in Becky, if that is what you were saying, Steve, do you put the title on Becky? I mean, do you really have Bianca beat her?
No, you don't have Bianca beat her. That's why I said it's a no-win situation. If that's the worst case scenario, you break glass and you pull the lever on Becky. That's the worst case scenario.
I wouldn't pull that. Then I'd make something and then have her come out after the match, maybe.
But there's nothing that they can do. Like, unless you have no match at all, you have Bianca come out and cut an awkward promo.
Yes.
Like, that's not gonna do anything. Like, it's a really bad situation if Sasha can't go.
So
I was gonna say, do you have you just throw Asuka in there just because somebody? At least you know you're gonna have a good match, and it's. Yeah.
So you have Bianca come out and apologize and whatever they decide to tell everybody why Sasha can't be there, whatever they make up, and then have her issue an open challenge, and Asuka answers it.
And I'd rather see Asuka on SmackDown anyway. So if they would move her over, like if this is a way just to move her over before the draft.
But couples stay together, so Seth, like having Becky on SmackDown makes sense because Seth's there.
It does.
Like I said, this is a disaster. This is a complete disaster from a booking standpoint, from just everything. It just, like you said, this is what happens when you don't have other people built up to where an injury happens or COVID or whatever circumstances. When somebody that's there gets knocked down due to things outside of the ring, you have nobody else there to elevate up.
All right, so let's say that the match is going to go on as planned. Who do you guys got?
Sasha.
Bianca.
I'm going to stick with Bianca. We'll find out tonight who's right.
I'd rather have Sasha just because I'm a Sasha stan. So Sasha is my favorite women's wrestler in WWE. Like, she's it for me. I don't care about Charlotte. I don't care, and you can argue that, but like to me, Sasha's that type of talent.
My only thing was like
same here.
Thinking between the two is like I was jockeying between the two because like, do you want to put the belt on Sasha if this happens again?
Mm-hmm.
What everybody thinks it is happens again.
And again, this is the same thing. The same thing with these two was the same thing going into their WrestleMania match. I hated the build. I did not like this build, but the match at Mania delivered, and I think they would have delivered if they do have a match tonight. They'll deliver again.
Yeah.
But it's just, this is going to be interesting to see as it plays out, and as you follow the dirt sheets and read the tea leaves throughout the day. I don't know if it'll get out there or if it'll be super hush hush, but as of last night, everything advertisement wise and everything else still had this match on. So we shall see.
All right, let's get into the main event of the night. Match everybody's looking forward to. The WWE Championship between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg.
I see what you did with the swerve there, buddy. Again, this doesn't matter. It's sad that you're reverting to Goldberg in this situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know if they tried getting Brock and Brock just said no, or Brock couldn't because of travel from Canada and everything else. Because the rumors were it was going to be Brock and Cena coming back for SummerSlam, and you're going to have Brock against Lashley and Cena against Reigns. So if they did and they weren't successful in it, obviously they weren't, because we're getting Goldberg. So you feel that there is nobody else on the Raw roster
the emergency lever
that could have a marquee name to go up against Lashley.
And again, they painted themselves in this corner.
Yeah. I mean, other than McIntyre, which you don't need to see again, who do you put against him? They've now fired Strowman. They fired Wyatt. I mean,
he destroyed Kofi. So
let's stop acting like we were clamoring for Strowman. Okay.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that those are the people that they've had in these situations on that roster.
I mean, Orton would have been the guy for me, but
to me, it would have been Orton or AJ. And
it was all. I mean, you were telling the story with Orton and Riddle, for months. So like, and then Orton took 6 weeks off, 7 weeks off. So like, you couldn't build to that when you were already in one story. But it's not like WWE hasn't switched up storylines, as they move along anyway. So I guess you could have pivoted to Orton, but they decided to go with Goldberg. So it'll be a 2 to 3 minute match. Like if they have Goldberg beat Lashley, I'm never watching Raw again.
That'll be for me.
I might not tune in to WWE at all.
That'll be for me. Person who shouldn't have sniffed the title, get the title? No.
So they have Crown Jewel planned in Saudi Arabia again for October. It hasn't officially been announced, but that's been the discussion. So usually Goldberg has fought on those shows. So you could easily put the title on Goldberg tonight and have him lose it over there.
No.
And have him fight Barry Horowitz or something over in Saudi Arabia. Oh, gosh.
Lashley, to me, I feel bad for Lashley because he's getting this run as champion, but the people around him and the storytelling aren't there to make it a memorable run. And I think he deserved a memorable run with the belt.
Absolutely.
To me it was good until they brought Goldberg in.
His run was good until they brought Goldberg in?
Yeah, end the story. Yeah.
I know like everybody was kind of bitching a little bit about his match with Kofi being a squash match, but at least that showed him being a dominant champion. The dominant champion that he had potential to be and should be.
Yeah.
So does he pull that off against Goldberg tonight? I want to see Lashley retain.
The same
I like him. I'm glad he's finally champion. I hope the run lasts longer. I'd be okay with him champion until Mania.
I will cringe and hold my breath if Goldberg tries to pick up Lashley for a frick whatever it's called. I don't even remember. Jackhammer.
You remember.
He almost broke Undertaker's neck. I don't even know what that would look like.
That should have been his last match.
And the story is built around Goldberg's kid.
Again.
Yes.
Rehashing stories again for no reason.
This is a piss break match for me. And that's
it'll
crazy.
last that long.
That's crazy. And just saying that about the WWE Championship.
All right, so let's head into the real main event. Universal Championship: Roman Reigns versus John Cena.
So, Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca on Busted Open yesterday. There's a nice 3-minute clip, but on their show, they're split on this. LaGreca thinks Cena's going to win. You don't have to worry about Ric Flair running around in all these different promotions and popping up and being tagged as the greatest decorated champion of all time and everything else. They can not erase him from the record books, but put Cena in that stance with him winning his 17th. Bully Ray says you got to have Reigns win. Reigns has been on this tear. He stood over top of everybody. It does nothing to have Cena beat Roman. They're billing it as the greatest of all time versus the greatest of his era is the tagline for this match. Take that for what you will, and we can argue that tagline for days. Again, this is a match that I was excited for. They got hurt by what they did on SmackDown last night.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the promo until they got to the stipulation.
The stipulation is not needed. I think it kind of tells you what's going to happen now.
And it was the same thing they did with Bayley.
The promo from Reigns was fine. The promo from Cena was the same thing.
The same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just rehashed. It goes back to Roman saying it's the missionary position. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And Cena fed right into that. Now, whether or not that was by design, I don't know. But I would have liked a different back and forth last night, given those two and what Cena can do on the microphone. Give me something different. Give me a different tone. Give me a different feel. Don't just play up on the never give up and hustle, loyalty, respect, and 1, 2, 3, and then you end it with this horrible small package roll up that Cole's trying to count 3 and Roman kicks out
at 2.5.
And Cole's like, he did it, he got him, and McAfee's like, hey, didn't his shoulders were up at 2.5. Like,
Cole definitely started counting late too.
Yeah, it was just terrible. It was just terrible. I didn't
roll out the ring, 1, 2, 3, and credits was like, and that's how we go home.
Yeah. That's how we go home. So, hey, for me, this answer is easy. Roman.
Reigns is retaining.
There's no reason to take the belt off of Roman. To put it on Cena. No reason at all. And if you're doing it just to get him to be a 17-time champ, like the guy's name down there in the bottom right-hand corner, and to have Roman get his win back at Madison Square Garden and 50-50 booking, like you derail the entire run of Roman Reigns with this if you have Cena win. Because again, it's not having somebody elevated given Reigns' run. I've been harping on this forever. It's the person to take the belt off of Roman needs to be somebody to get that rub. It's not John Cena.
And Cena
given the story that they've told with Reigns and him beating Daniel Bryan and him beating Edge, like all these people. Okay, have him notch Cena under his belt too. But to me, the only person that should be beating Roman Reigns for the title is Big E. And that's a complete cluster right now what they're doing with that freaking briefcase.
That they did that so you don't have the in your mind that it's going to happen at SummerSlam. There you go.
Well, reports were that Big E will not be cashing in at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. And he shouldn't.
No,
he shouldn't either.
No.
But he shouldn't be chasing around Corbin, running around with a briefcase. I still say the payoff for this is that Corbin cashes in, but they open it up and reveal there's no contract in there.
Bunch of balloons pop out or something.
Yeah, it was a prop case. It was something that was in the WWE warehouse from the A&E show Hidden Treasures. Like there's no reason that contract should be in that case. But apparently they played it up because Big E was chasing them around last night with it. So again, that makes no sense that they're running that bullshit storyline.
And that's how Cena wins. All you need is 1, 2,
no,
3.
Again, what did I say? Legends don't deserve to win titles.
All you got to be is distracted. 1, 2, 3.
So by that sentiment, I take it that you're picking Cena to that.
Cena in 6.
WWE will run that because that's all they do. SmackDown last night, they recapped the Otis and Montez Ford segment with a 2 months ago. I'm like, this match has been happening the same way, one form or another, for 9 weeks, and nobody cares. It's terrible storytelling.
And is it like Otis undefeated too? So where's his title shot?
Can we talk about Montez looking like Saget out there?
Why was he wrestling in swim trunks? What the hell type of ring gear was that?
He was looking like Saget.
Step punch.
He did. He was looking like Saget from Street Fighter. Tiger.
So we got one team Reigns and one team Cena.
We're split.
Like, I can't believe y'all picking Cena. Really?
So 2 team Reigns. Chris, I'm assuming by your name you're going with hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Honestly, before going in last night, I thought Cena was going to win. Roman's whole stipulation last night to me tells me, what you're doing with the match.
Mm.
I still think there's a possibility Cena will win tonight, though.
You Mark.
Falling. You falling for it.
All right, so we got split. We got two team Cena and 2 team Reigns. So hit us up and let us know which team you're on for tonight's main event. You either leave the show with smiles on people's faces, or you leave the show with Roman with his foot on Cena's chest, standing tall, raising the belt. And I think that's the picture that you should go off the air with.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll just continue to have Roman with more heat and more booze, everything else. So,
If Cena wins tonight, are you on the podcast next week?
Main roster talk for me. If Goldberg or Cena wins, boy, it might be done altogether.
I may skip bell to bell next week if we're at that stage.
I might put Cena in that category. Come on,
I might just sit here.
No,
I'm not putting.
Cena's not
I'm talking about Dawn.
Cena's not active. He's not active. He's not there every single day. I'm not talking about the summer Cena run. He's not there every day.
And he brought up in his promo last night, hey, I win the title. You don't see me till WrestleMania. He brought that up, in his promo. Cut that. He goes, it's Roman's fault if I take the title away for months.
I would rather, if Cena's going to win 17, if Cena's going to win 17 and you laid out, the story where he wins and then gets the win back and go, I would have rather seen him face Lashley. But I get Cena and Reigns was the right call. But I mean, if you're going to have Cena win the belt here, it should have been against Lashley, because then Lashley could have got that win back and it would have been fine.
Cena's going to get that 17th title run at some point, whether it's tonight or later on. It's just going to happen. WWE's going to make him the 17-time champion to be the greatest of all time in their views. And he's never had the Universal title, so you got to give him that run at some point too. Is it tonight?
Better not be.
No.
All right, that's the breakdown and the predictions for SummerSlam. Let us know who you got. And before we jump into NXT, I found this list of, I guess, what was the title? Most unusual SummerSlam matches.
Yeah.
So there's I believe five matches on this list. So out of this list of unusual matches at SummerSlam, which one of these was your favorite? Which one of these didn't you care about? And if you could pick another one to be added to the list, I know it's coming off the top of the brain and didn't have time to think about it, but that's what we do on this show. So let's pull it up and see what we got.
So we got Big Boss Man and the Mountie in their jailhouse match at SummerSlam 91. Undertaker Mankind Boiler Room Brawl SummerSlam 96. X-Pac Jeff Jarrett Hair vs. Hair SummerSlam 98. And Shamrock Blackman Lion's Den at SummerSlam 99. And then, of course, the famous Rey Mysterio Eddie Guerrero ladder match for the custody of Dominic SummerSlam 2005.
So that's a fun list. That's a nice combination of matches there.
You already know my one got to go.
Well, I didn't have it per se as a one got to go. But if you want to kick one off the list, you can kick one off the list. That's
it's automatically a four match list.
What do you get rid of? X-Pac and Jarrett and Hair versus Hair.
Yeah,
definitely.
I don't even remember that match. I really don't.
That was a good SummerSlam 98.
If we're kicking one off the list, I'll kick off Shamrock and Blackman in the Lions Den.
I do remember that.
I can see that. That was not a good SummerSlam 99.
What's your favorite out of this list?
It's the custody battle.
Got it. I mean,
I love the build up to that. Was great.
the build-up was tremendous. Dominic, I'm your poppy. It was tremendous. Like,
That was great.
tremendous.
I think the match I enjoyed most growing up was the Boss Man Mountie Jailhouse match because I like SummerSlam '91, so I've watched that match a bunch of times.
And we were still in the loop of like, oh, it's believable and all that stuff. So the boiler room brawl. I mean, the boiler room fight was good.
The boiler room brawl that established Mankind.
That match gets shit on a lot, but I enjoyed that match.
It was different at his time too, because you was off stage, so it was we're like, "Ooh, what they doing back there?"
Yeah,
yeah. No.
I just feel bad for the fans that were in the crowd that had to watch on the TVs around the ring. And then you had the Paul Bearer turn at the end. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's what I mean. Like that's. So yeah. I will say, for the most part, the storylines in those matches were better than 90% of this card on SummerSlam tonight.
Yes.
So we could watch all 5 of those matches and probably be more entertained.
Yeah.
if
SummerSlam will deliver.
We'll deliver a bag of shit. That's what it's going to deliver. Over under on how many times Peacock freezes and messes up tonight. I'm going to set it at. I'm going to set it at 5. I'm going to set it at 5.5. Over under.
There'll be some issues.
Mm-hmm. Can we buy it on pay-per-view? Just so it won't mess up.
Do you really want to buy this on pay-per-view?
Just so it won't glitch.
All right, so that was SummerSlam. Let's jump into NXT.
Before we do that, now we've ran through the card. Do you guys feel any better about the pay-per-view, or do you feel worse or same?
No.
We're
Good
getting
because they always deliver.
We're getting together to watch this because it's something to get together and hang out with and everything else. But to me, this is a pay-per-view. I could sit there and be playing poker or dominoes and have this on in the background and not really pay attention to it.
There's even quite a few of those matches.
With it being
pretty much every pay-per-view we do.
All right, we'll head over to NXT TakeOver 36. We'll kick off with the kickoff match. They actually announced one ahead of time: Trey Baxter versus Ridge Holland.
So this is going to be the last TakeOver as we know TakeOvers to be. NXT is dead after tonight. It's not dead. It's not going to be anything like we're accustomed to.
I mean, whenever the rumor is they're trying to bring it back to where it was when they first launched, and it was entertaining then too. It wasn't all the bells and whistles, but it was entertaining to watch the matches.
Hey, USA is paying you a lot of money to put on quality programming television, and I don't think they're going to accept them reverting back to what NXT was on the network prior to its boom.
Maybe not.
They're taping 3 weeks worth of NXT after tonight, so it won't be live again until the end of September.
And it definitely went back to what it was.
Rumor is they're taping because they're going to be doing some renovations of the PC.
Well, the Full Sail agreement ended, so the CWC is their home now going forward. So they want to make changes there. Allegedly, more lighting in the arena, probably take down the plexiglass
more seating.
I don't know how much more seating you can actually get in that building if they change up the layout and whatnot. But yeah, so I think this is going to be a big shift in NXT, and for some of us that love NXT as the favorite brand and the favorite show based off of what they've done and their boom the last 7 years, it may be a little hard pill to swallow after tonight.
I mean, you might see more of the same, the next couple of weeks since it's going to be pre-taped, but probably by the time October rolls around, it's going to be a different NXT.
I don't care about this kickoff show match because I don't understand why Ridge Holland is fighting Trey Baxter whenever the story is him and Dunn against whatchamacallit.
Just to have him dominate somebody because you didn't get to see him. You didn't get to see him he was a hot second before he got injured.
And please, Ridge, no more dives. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Like, everybody does a dive now, but like the risk versus reward on those things is so slim.
Especially with him, his size and all that
his
stuff.
size and everything else. Yeah, like work smarter, not harder. I think you can have a move set that doesn't involve a dive and still be as dominant in everything else. Because he got to look for sure. So, but yeah, to me, Ridge wins this. I feel bad for Trey Baxter, but
Yeah,
Ridge is going to get the win here.
Yep. Ridge.
All in agreement on that one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First title match of the night. $1 Million Championship, LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes will win tonight. He got the sad father disappointment look from Ted DiBiase, and that's going to be his motivating factor to get the belt and winning it back off of LA Knight. Again, I think the storyline should be LA Knight goes up to the main roster and Baron Corbin beats him for the $1 million belt, and that's how Baron Corbin gets back on his feet, which then transitioned to him being called Happy Corbin, which they trademarked. So that's the storyline I would run with. But I'm going Grimes here. I don't see LA Knight keeping the belt, and he doesn't need the belt.
Grimes.
I'm going with Grimes. I like the storyline. It was just like every time you brought DiBiase out, it was just like a little bit of a drain.
Yeah. They ran the story in the ground.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, it's too much of it.
DiBiase can't cut it like he used to. So, like Dawn was saying, Virgil behind him, just standing.
Then you have the stipulation that if Knight wins, DiBiase becomes his butler.
Yeah.
Just like, again, the stipulation tells you the match. Yeah, I'm going to go with Grimes as well.
DiBiase, the AEW. You don't disrespect the legends.
NXT Women's Championship, Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai.
This was the turn seen around the world whenever Dakota turned on Raquel, and since that time, all they've done is cut the same promo against each other. Raquel, you're too big for your britches. I made you. You wouldn't be anybody without me. Dakota, I'm going to whoop your ass, Chiquita, and everything else. Like, it hasn't done anything for me to get me excited for this match. Not given their story and history together, I should be more invested and more excited for this going into it, and it's been a dud. I'll keep Raquel to retain.
Shame, Raquel. I felt like she's been better in other feuds, like with promos and everything. It's just this one didn't live up to the magnitude of the situation.
They haven't had the belt on Raquel that long, so I'm just going to say Raquel for that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take the title off Raquel, but I like Raquel. I think she has potential to be a good champion, but I just don't think they've done anything with her since she's been champion, like to warrant like that she's had a good run. I don't know who they can put her against that can elevate her as like a dominant champion.
Who hasn't she be, or she
they don't have anybody there that's on that level.
And then
she already beat Mercedes, right? Level. She's a big girl, but I don't know. She like her talent really puts her on a different level.
No, but I mean, she doesn't. There's no other woman like
at that main event other than
on that level to go against her right now. This is the first time where like the women's division, which was one of the strongest from NXT standpoint, it's like you don't have anybody built up enough to go up against her.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Frankie Monet get elevated up and her be the one to challenge Raquel, because Taya can go in the ring and she can cut promos and she's somebody that will be believable that could take the belt off of Raquel.
And that's the main thing right now. I don't think like Raquel's unbeatable. So if Frankie Monet would get a title shot, say at the potential next takeover, I could see her beating Raquel and becoming champ.
Mandy Rose.
All right, move on to the next match.
The only match that's not a title shot.
All gold, everything, right, Jay?
Got 2 out of 3 falls match. Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. First round will be a traditional match, street fight, then steel cage if it goes to that. which of course it
Which
always
it will.
does.
Yeah, 3.
This will be Adam Cole's last WWE matches. He will then be joining AEW.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it too.
Now
30
I
days
know.
later. No, his contract's up, so you could join anytime, right?
Yep, he's not on a contract. His deal was up in June, so he's been wrestling on a handshake agreement. So yeah, I know Vince. Reports where him and Cole met one-on-one a couple Fridays ago, and Vince really took to Cole and liked him. And reports were that he was offered over $1 million guaranteed, but we've seen them sign big $1 million deals and then cut people, aka Wyatt. So the money doesn't mean anything. It's like an NFL contract; they rip it up whenever they want. Yeah, I think this is Cole's swan song. He'll be done with WWE after this and join AEW. So for that reason, I'm going to go with O'Reilly going over.
The same. Steve named all the points and everything. So O'Reilly.
I'm pretty good at this shit. Okay?
You did. The same exact thing. Yeah.
I'm going Cole.
Same for me.
I'm going Cole. O'Reilly just doesn't do it for me.
I'm not saying O'Reilly does it, but I mean, you're not going to put Cole over if he's not sticking around.
Yeah.
You go out on a high note. Go out on the win.
They won't do that if he's leaving.
This is WWE we're talking about.
Yeah. And I think Cole's a traditionalist too. He would go out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you doing him a solid. Do him a solid. Send him out high.
All right, we'll head to one of the more anticipated matches of the night, the NXT UK Championship. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov.
The match will deliver. The build to this has not been good, minus the video package that they did. If they would have just left that video package play and had them not interact at all up until this match, I would have been super pumped for this match. But I don't think their interactions have done anything to build to this match.
They didn't even need to bring him over.
No, like just play that 3 or 4 minute video package they played, 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, 3-4 weeks ago, and let that stand and build. They had that press conference, and that'd be the end of it. The interactions that they've had in the ring has done nothing to get me excited. I hope this match delivers because the first one was so good, but I got that feeling that people will be let down by it because how good this match was. Omega Okada one was fantastic, but they followed it up with a second one that was just as good, if not better. And I don't know if these two can do that. So I'm hoping people aren't disappointed in it. But
I've yet to be disappointed by a Walter match, honestly, that I've seen. Yeah, dude.
And the man who don't like the UK style.
I just say that. I don't like joint manipulation. I don't like that stupid stuff.
I'm going Walter. Unless he's dropping the belt and he's going up to the main roster, I don't see that there's. And I don't follow NXT UK as much as everybody else, so I can't say that Dragunov's the right person to end Walter's reign, but I don't see the need to take the belt off of Walter.
I'm a big Walter fan. I like him a lot, but I think it's time for a change. I'm going Ilya.
That's how I feel. Same.
I like both these guys. Really enjoyed their first match. That was my match of the year last year. I hope it does live up to the hype for the second round. I could see them putting the title on Dragunov, but NXT UK, I don't know what the deal is when they're going to start doing fans again. I'd rather wait to see a moment like someone dethrone Walter with fans. So I'm gonna go with Walter tonight. Like the UK fans, not necessarily just US fans. All right, so that'll take us into the main event of the night. Got the NXT Championship of Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. Kross will be full time on Raw.
Joe.
Nothing else to say about it.
Yeah. This is simple. The story writes itself.
So supposedly Scarlett hasn't been cleared for whatever reason to be on the main roster, which is why she hasn't been around. Were reports. So I don't know what that means, even if that's even true. because she hasn't wrestled a match since she's come into WWE. So I don't know why her not being cleared to be on the main roster would mean anything.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
she's just walking down. That's
I don't know, but this is Cross's swan song. He'll be up on the main roster. Joe will have the belt, and then like I said, this is the change in NXT. So we'll see what happens going forward. But excited to see Joe back in the ring again. This is going to be a Haas match, so I'll be into this one.
Well, how do you revert back with Joe as champion?
He might just be a transitional champ.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Because you teased him and Dunn, you teased him and Gargano. You set up people for him that you can put the belt on moving forward.
Well, then it's no different than the same NXT.
No, because you're
like from what I was understanding, it was going back to like straight developmental.
Right,
but you still got these championship caliber guys down there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is going to be like either these guys are getting moved up. You'll see more releases coming. Like they want to go back to developmental, but yet you have TV you have to do for USA. So, like,
you have to have people.
I don't know how they're going to balance that. I don't.
And then there's rumor that Dunn's contract's expiring soon too.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he resigns or if this is it for him. So if he's gone, then there's one person out of the title picture. And yeah, you never know what's going to happen, who they're going to move up. The draft's coming up, supposedly in October. So we'll see if anybody gets moved up then. And then potentially released later that week.
Now, if I could get a Joe versus Ciampa match out of this for the belt, I'd be ecstatic.
That'd be a good match.
Joe versus Dunn, I'd be happy with. Joe versus Gargano, I'd be happy with. Joe versus O'Reilly doesn't really fit because Joe's a tweener more than so like a heel or face. He can go heel or face, but like you said, you don't see Kyle on the microphone is just not connected.
Nothing.
Not good at all.
I
love Kyle in the ring.
Yep.
His work rate is tremendous, and what he does in there is great. It's just the promos for me just don't connect. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I know one thing: Cross will drop the belt tonight or tomorrow night. There's no reason to have him carry the belt. All right. Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, that's TakeOver.
All right. That was SummerSlam predictions and TakeOver predictions. I think it's time to drink a beer.
Chug, 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 chug.
This week's Drink of the Week is brought to you by probably the most intriguing and interesting beer that we've done to date on the show, based off of the guy's pick who doesn't like beer. So,
and if this fails, I'm banned from picking.
yes, if this fails, you are banned from selecting beers moving forward. We'll have you do like a pop review or something. So today we're doing Great South Bay Tipsy Lemonade. 5% alcohol by volume. I like the can. The labeling is cool. It's that old school newspaper comic strip style. So this came in a 12-pack, a variety pack. There was a Tipsy Lemonade, a Tipsy Tea, and a Tipsy Fruit Punch. So this is the lemonade
or malt beverage on the can either.
So out of those three choices, this was the one that I was kind of most looking forward to and trying. So we'll see how this plays out. But
I think we can agree nobody wanted the tea.
It looks like lemonade.
Smells like lemonade. So if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, it must be a duck, right?
I don't taste the alcohol. which is good.
I get a little burn, not a lot, but
This tastes like a flat Lipton.
I see that.
Like without the carbonation. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Pretty much any canned tea or any canned lemonade. Yeah.
It tastes like that Minute Maid lemonade that comes out the vending machine.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely different than like a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the lemonade's not as strong as like a Mike's Hard Lemonade either, as far as flavor goes.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have that harsh aftertaste either.
Yeah, because that's more like a malt beverage of just
Yeah.
you're getting all that acidity from a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
I think I would like this more if it was out of a bottle and not a can, because I feel like I'm tasting the can. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that aluminum taste.
Because it's such a subtle flavor that can absorb that a little bit more.
This is interesting. I don't even know how to grade this.
I can definitely drink more of these without complaining.
I can drink more of these too.
Yeah,
it's good. It's there, but it's missing something. I feel like it's missing something.
Sugar.
This will yes.
Throw a crystal light pack in it and see how it turns out.
No, but this at least with this, I don't know what the tea and the fruit punch is going to taste like, but like this is where you down 10 or 12 of these just sitting there and you don't even realize how hammered you are until you stand up, and then you get an uppercut to the jaw because it sneaks up on you. I mean, 5% alcohol is not a ton, but still, like, you drink 8 of these and you're going to feel that 5% alcohol for sure. I'm pleasantly surprised with this. I thought this was going to be way worse than what it actually is. Like I said, I think not getting that beer alcoholic malt flavor, like you can bury these easily.
This kind of makes me want to taste the tea, because the tea I was expecting like a twisted tea type deal.
Yeah, makes me wonder if you mix these like an Arnold Palmer and see how it turns out with that.
I think like if you were to blend this with ice, you know, kind of like not a margarita, but you know what I mean, like a frozen
lemonade
type deal, like a frozen lemonade, like you know, and then you could add you could add, you know, some liquor into that frozen mix as well. You know what I mean, and really get loose. I'm pleasantly surprised by this, honestly.
I am, because I was ready to trash the hell out this.
Yeah, I'll go with a 3, just for shock and awe factor. That bumps them up.
I'm gonna go with a 4.
What?
This is right up your alley, Jay. If all beer tasted like this, you'd be a beer drinker.
Yeah.
Instead of 4.
I wonder if you can consider this a beer, because you're not really getting anything of a beer. Yeah, a brewery's making it, but
I mean, it says on the can, it's an authentic brewery, Great South Bay. Like, there's no. Well, see, Chris, it does say malt beverage brewed with natural flavors. So
it's the natural part.
But this tastes nothing like a malt beverage.
No.
Yeah, I like this. I really do.
Like I'm back in the game, baby.
I wanted to shit all over this, but the more I'm drinking it, I'm like, okay, like I can do this.
Because I was ready to trash the hell out this. I woke up ready for this. But no,
I would drink this with food.
I enjoy this. I give this a 3.5 for me.
This is good for the summer. You know, like we always talk about drinking at cookouts and stuff. This would be great for that too.
Like you don't even get like the heartburn lemonade taste afterward. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what you get from Mike's. I get that all the time. That's why I don't drink Mike's.
Maybe it's because it's flat and it doesn't have the carbonation with it, so you're not getting that as well. Like, this is like Stump the Schwab type shit right here.
Yes, it is.
Lost for words with this right now.
But remember, they had the high C punch I showed you, the orange high C burst blast. That makes me really interested now.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you guys are out and you see this, pick this up. Great South Bay. It did come in the variety pack. Let us know what you think, because this is by far the most interesting beer that I've had.
It's unique, very unique.
Yeah, they're out of Great South Bay Brewery. They're out of Bayshore, New York. So you guys are in the New York area. Pick this up. Again, we found this here in Pittsburgh. So it's the first time I saw it. I don't think I've seen anything else Great South Bay in the breweries that I've gone to and been around. But
just online, that's the only time I ever see it advertised. Like, because they're the ones that are doing that Rocket Pop seltzer too.
Mm.
But I'll give this a 3. Yeah,
we'll go thumbs up with this, Jay. I wanted to bash you. Yeah,
man. I was ready.
The hate I get.
I was ready.
The Redeemer strikes. Beer's favorite drinker is back.
Now you just got to find a double jointed wife.
You get challenge mirror. You feel strong enough yet?
All right. Well, with that pleasant surprise here on this beautiful sunny day, we ask that you pick up your cans, bottles, shot glasses, red and blue Solo cups, brown papers, bags, whatever you're drinking with, and raise them up high as to good ships and wood ships and ships that sail the seas. But the best ships are friendships, and friends will always be. This week in sports, folks, we're back with another edition. Next week, on next week's show, we'll run through the NFL division by division, pick our winners, playoff teams, and maybe even throw a Super Bowl champion out there. Preseason games are in full effect. My attention this week has been on the Little League World Series from Williamsport. I love the Little League World Series. I watch it every single year. Have watched it every single year since I can remember. It's a little different this year with no international field, obviously due to COVID. So they have 16 teams from the U.S. split into 2 8-team brackets, the Hank Aaron bracket and the Tom Seaver bracket. Excellent baseball. It's fun to watch the innocence of kids playing baseball that they get you excited to watch baseball. I mean, yesterday you had the combined no-hitter from South Dakota yesterday, and that kid there, their pitcher, I mean, he's been on a tear in regionals. He threw a perfect game and a no-hitter. The only reason why he didn't have a no-hitter himself yesterday because he reached the pitch limit that they installed in Little League. So once he hit his 85 pitches, he had to exit the game, and they brought in another kid who struck out the next batter for the 3rd out in the 6th inning, and they had a combined no-hitter. But
imagine the pressure on that kid.
Yeah, coming in that spot, right?
That huddle be like Major League with Dorn.
No, but so super excited for that. I'll be watching that as those games continue to play out and the tournament continues to play out. That's what I'll be excited for. Sticking with the baseball theme, Shohei Ohtani continues to have a career that we've never seen in baseball, period.
Unbelievable.
The other night he had a complete game as well as hit his 40th home run. I mean, he has to win MVP this year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. If he don't, it's a sham.
Like, it should be hands down MVP.
It should be unanimous too.
I know, starting off the season, you have Vlad Guerrero on his tear and everything else. Joey Votto's been on a tear lately with hitting home runs. But, I mean, like, for Ohtani to do something that we've never seen in baseball before is just, hands down has to be unanimous as far as MVP goes.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Also with baseball, Tyler Gibbert from the Diamondbacks threw a no-hitter in his first start. So
first start ever in the major leagues, threw a no-hitter. The emotion and the reaction of his father in the stands just was like, it's like kind of what it's all about. That makes you connect with baseball in a way I'm not sure you get with other sports. When stuff like that happens. And it like makes you remember how great baseball is But we've been so jaded here in Pittsburgh that I don't even care about baseball. But whenever I see stuff like that, I want to be excited about baseball again, and just can't do it based off of where we're in our city. So yeah, and then they did announce that the Field of Dreams series will continue next year. I believe the Cubs, and I'm trying to remember, Cubs and Reds were announced for next year's game. So they'll do that. Like I said last week on the show, maybe they make that into their like NHL's Winter Classic. That's what they do each year. They have the Little League World Series game, which they do. They've been doing that for the past couple of years. They do that on Sunday Night Baseball from Williamsport. So they'll have, I believe it's the Yankees and the Angels will be playing this week on Sunday night, tomorrow night. So yeah.
So Shohei again.
Shohei again. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, other than that, preseason football in full effect. Steelers tonight against the Lions. We'll see what Big Ben looks like. How much he'll play third preseason game. I think you got to get him out there. Starting offensive line will be all together in the game, so I expect them to play, all of the first half, if not into some of the second half, so they get reps. And that
very important.
Hey, if they go out there and Ben leads them on a 12 play drive and they score a touchdown, take him out. I don't need to see him no more. Najee, I don't need to see him no more. Get maybe a series if that, but
yeah, they got to figure out that backup situation.
He's the real deal. Yeah, from everything Tomlin's press conference wise this week, where he didn't say much, but it looks like they're going to go with Rudolph at number 2 is where they're leaning. I just don't get the faith in Mason that they have. I don't understand it.
I don't.
It's just them. It's just a Steeler organization. Everybody else in the city is like, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not that guy.
Yeah, you're not that guy. And I mean, like he had a good game against the Eagles, but I mean, hell, everybody has a good game against the Eagles in the preseason. I mean, look at them. New England. Mac Jones was out there looking like freaking the second coming of John Elway. Like,
what they have? How many starting drives with 0 points?
He's 0 for 6. He hasn't put any points on the board so far in preseason. He got a donut up there. So
what? Haskins has 4 drives.
Haskins has 4 scoring drives. Yes. So I mean, you gotta, at some point, like, and maybe they keep 3 quarterbacks. Haskins is on the roster. You're not paying him any money. It was a futures contract. So like, and then next year they truly have a battle. But other than that, like, yeah, I don't need Mason Rudolph as my backup quarterback. To me, he's in the same ballpark as Landry Jones. So
it's the exact same person.
Yeah. Anything else from sports that you guys saw that you want to talk about, discuss?
Lundqvist retires after 14 years.
Yep, Henry Lundqvist retires. He said that he needs to have a second heart procedure. He tried coming back, but after doing some workouts and that, still feeling issues and whatnot, and it has to go in for a second heart procedure, so he retires. I didn't like the Rangers, but you can't knock Lundqvist for what he did for the game and how good of a goaltender he was for as long as he was in the NHL. So, hope thoughts and prayers go out to him. LeBron, did you see LeBron?
Yes. Keep gassing me, or
yeah. So they ESPN pulled scouts and executives from, I think it was 10 or 12 NBA teams, and asked them the question, who's the best player in the NBA? And all the votes went to Giannis or KD. LeBron didn't get a single vote. So that's adding gas to the fire based off of their roster's too old, they can't do anything, so on and so forth. I don't know. I mean, we're not going to get too many more runs with LeBron, right? Like, he's been in the league, 18 years? He's going to be 36 years old in December.
He's our age, right?
Yeah, he'll be turning 36. I think he's a year younger than us.
His rookie year was 03? 2003, long time ago.
Yeah. So,
does he play to 40, or you think that's too much?
I don't know. I mean, obviously he takes great care of his body and everything else. Like, there's just so many miles on those tires. Like, when does it give out? I think obviously we're on the decline of LeBron. So each year that he plays, he'll be less and less dominant. But with his IQ and everything else, like, can he still be a factor and a piece on a championship team? Absolutely. Is he going to be the guy? Maybe this year, but moving forward, I think you'll start to see that change. So, anything else in sports that we want to cover?
The only thing I had this week was the Hannes Wagner card broke the record for most expensive sports card ever sold for $6.6 million.
I feel like there was another Hannes Wagner card.
I thought so too a couple years ago.
Yeah.
There might be a couple out there.
How many cards were dished out back then?
Not many.
I don't know. I did see, for those of you college football wise, Navy is playing Air Force on September 11th. So 20 years of 20th. Yeah, 20-year anniversary of September 11th. Navy versus Air Force. Navy revealed their uniforms for the game. Oh, they look so sweet. Like, so sweet. Normally, the Navy Army game, that's my favorite game of the year. I look forward to that game the most. My dad was in the Navy, and I would sit and watch that game with him every year. And, like, for whatever reason, because that game's standalone, it's usually by itself. Nobody else is playing that weekend in December, and that game to me just has it's more of an emotional tie than just a sporting event based off of everything. But yeah, the uniforms for that from the Navy side, they look really badass. Like, they're dope. Trying to think if there was anything else. Next week we get next Saturday not next Saturday. Is it next Sunday, the 29th?
Yes.
Get Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think I had anything else in sports this week. Like, everything's about football. I got my fantasy football draft coming up. Preseason's well underway. Getting ready for that to kick off. So everything's football. Oh, the Alliance. And I'm not talking about the one that was in WWE when WCW collapsed. ACC, Pac-12, Big 12.
Big 10.
Or Big 10. Forming an alliance. News conferences were reportedly to happen. And it's going to go beyond just them scheduling games. They seem to be working together and in cahoots to counteract what the SEC conference has done and is doing. It's odd that the Big 12 is not mentioned in that, so who knows what the state of that conference is. But yeah, like we said last week, college football come 2025, 2026, once Oklahoma and Texas move over, it's going to look way different than what it does now. So
I can't wait to see what they do. Those are three big conferences coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like major conferences.
Yeah, so, do we get a split from the NCAA where they do their own thing? Like, it's going to be a mess.
It is. It's all about the money. It's all what it's about.
NCAA is a mess too. So
NCAA has been a mess when
long time ago.
Yeah, when kids were losing scholarships and being banned from playing for taking cream cheese on a bagel, you knew the NCAA was having issues.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right. Anybody got anything else? Nope. All right, that's a quick hit sports edition. Next week, tune in live. Like I said, it'll be NFL heavy. We'll run through and give our division winners and predictions. Maybe throw out a possible MVP candidate or rookie of the year, so on and so forth. So So tune in live for next week for that.
All right, coming off of last week's One Gotta Go, we did the American celebrities with black belts. Donald, you did a poll, I did a couple polls, and it looks like everybody agreed that Steven Seagal gotta go.
Except for one jackass.
There was a couple.
Somebody took Chuck Norris off the list.
Yeah, when I saw Chuck Norris on my poll, I was like, wow, really?
Yep, I had one on mine too.
See, I think some of those people they read it and don't understand what the game is. Like they're voting as
They pick a favorite.
Yeah, their favorite, not the one that got to go.
I talked to the person that picked Chuck Norris on mine. No, he meant to eliminate Chuck Norris. So.
I guess I am wrong.
All right, so Jason, it's your week.
Yeah.
Go ahead, set it up.
I'm not eliminating history. I'm just saying if you had to stop watching one for the foreseeable future, pick one.
MLB. I don't watch
MLB.
it now. I don't watch it now. I can't tell you the last time I sat and watched a 9-inning baseball game, start to finish.
Have you been to a game?
Not in 3 years.
Oh. Surprising.
For me, it's simple. For me, it's simple. Is the NBA.
That's.
I'm not a basketball person at all, so
I'm taking off the NBA too. I watched my first full game in years. This past championship, game 5, only because I was at my brother's and had to watch the whole game. It's miserable. I can't get with basketball.
And it has nothing. Yeah, and it has nothing to do with Pittsburgh not having a team. It's just that I'm not a basketball person at all.
Yeah, Yins 2 will get buried for that this week.
Probably.
Everybody knows that already about me. So what they gonna say?
Well, I mean, you don't watch the NBA and you don't watch comedy movies, so you're freaking boring.
I'm not boring. I'm unique and I got taste.
No. There's the next T-shirt. They might
put that on your Tinder account and see how many people will actually hit you up.
What is Tinder?
Yeah.
Remember, I found my girl at the grocery store.
You're only on felonsandparolees.com. I forgot.
There you go.
I'm feeling Chris might talk that.
Oh, I'm going to be the one that gets buried.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're not even on next week's show then.
Yeah, no. There's only on this list. There's only one that I actually watch most, and that's hockey. Other than that, I do watch baseball occasionally, at least one game a week. I'll watch usually NBA, playoffs or finals. I hardly ever watch any football games, so NFL can go for me. I'm not a football fan. Never been a football fan. Never will be a football fan.
Un-American, unpatriotic.
You just took the heat off of us.
America's pastime is baseball, so I kept MLB on that list.
America's pastime is not baseball. That's like no, it's over with. You could have said that 20, 30 years ago, but no.
You still going to say that 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The NFL? Are you kidding me?
Woo.
Never been a football fan.
Well, this is the guy 2 weeks ago that didn't see Juice, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, or Higher Learning. So there you go. That's
how's that watching going?
Hasn't done it yet. Hasn't done it yet.
Next week you're watching the preseason game. Tonight.
I mean, I watch games. I've gone to games. It's just.
Yeah, you don't get to watch SummerSlam tonight. You got to watch preseason football.
I'll be more entertained by WWE than the football.
That's questionable. Steelers preseason third quarter might be more interesting than SummerSlam tonight. So, all right. Well, everybody hop on social media and bury Chris for that tape. You took the heat off of those two McJaggers and you put it on yourself.
I'm okay with that.
Unbelievable. I'm going to win this week.
If it wasn't for the history, I would have took off NHL. Like if you had to delete altogether in all their works, I'd have took off the NHL. Just because I'm not deleting.
I like hockey. It's fast. I like it. I really like hockey.
I need another Tipsy Lemonade after that segment.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts. Let's go.
All right, boys and girls, thanks for tuning in to episode 51 of the Dumb Marks podcast. We were very wrestling heavy this week with SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver. Make sure you tune into us every week, every Saturday, 11 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you get notifications when we go live each week. And, of course, once ProWrestlingTees.com is back up to buy some merchandise, hit up ProWrestlingTees.com/DumbMarksPod and buy our merch.
Final thoughts for anybody?
One quick thing, wrestling. With the success of the Field of Dreams, WWE was discussing about having off-site events, saying that they were going to have shows at Rolling Loud, Hammerstein Ballroom, and possibly Raw on the Roof, whatever that is. So, in prelims, talking about they might do stuff like that.
They already had Raw on the Roof.
They did that, early 90s, and then they did Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And their headquarters, I think they moved to their new headquarters next year, so I don't even know if unless that's how they send off the headquarters.
Wrestling related, the announcement was made that Christian Cage will face Ace Austin at Victory Road on September 18th for the Impact Championship. And Christian this past week on Impact retired the TNA title, so there is only one belt moving forward. So there you go, Chris. That eliminates your gripe against the whole situation.
There's more gripes I have with that company, but especially lately.
I like that Ace Austin.
That could be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
They did announce that they're taping, so they only taped up through like mid-September. So they have another set of tapings mid-September, 3 days again in Nashville, and that should set up to Bound for Glory. Yeah,
they'll tape after Victory Road. They'll do their tapings. The NBA released their schedule as well as the Christmas Day schedule. So Christmas Day, you'll have the Hawks versus the Knicks, Celtics, Bucks, Warriors, Suns, Nets at the Lakers, and then Mavericks at the Jazz to round out the night on Christmas night. So full slate of games Christmas Day. LeBron versus KD in the main prime time slot there. But that was announced. MLW looks like they'll run another Opera Cup in 2021. So they're working on that.
I saw they canceled their Dallas event because of COVID, so that'll be moved. Probably to Philadelphia, because that's what they did the last one. I forget the last one they canceled and just moved to Philly.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through and run through my list of things to see if there was anything else. Giannis purchased a stake in the Milwaukee Brewers, following the same format that Patrick Mahomes did when he purchased a minority stake in the Kansas City Royals. So, shout out to Giannis there. Dark Side of the Ring, September 16th at 9 p.m. Season 3 will continue with 7 new episodes. They have The Plane Ride from Hell, Chris Canyon, FMW, Johnny K9, Luna Vachon, XPW, and the Steroid Trials.
That Steroid Trials is going to be good.
Should be really good.
Which is really interesting because Vince and them are doing a Steroid Trials either movie or series or whatever. So it'll be
series,
to see how that plays out.
That's going to be WWE's take on it.
Ric Flair showed up at Triple Mania, and he was announced this week to also be showing up at NWA 73. So the man, I don't know, besides Harley Race, I think he's probably the name that you would associate the most with the NWA title. So he will show up for their 73rd anniversary show. Excited to see Flair there. No? Okay, moving on.
I thought everybody wanted Flair to go.
It is what it is.
And then I got a quick story, and then a quick story, and then probably the burn of the week as far as somebody getting eviscerated on Twitter. But for the quick positive story, Javelin thrower Maria Andrzejczyk. I've totally butchered that last name. She auctioned off her Tokyo Games silver medal for $125,000 to help infants in her native Poland get life-saving heart surgery. A Polish grocery supermarket chain won the medal at the auction, and they gave it back to her.
Huh.
So feel-good story
Yeah.
all the way around there. Shout out to her for doing that, for helping save an infant's life, and kudos for the grocery chain store that bought the medal to purchase it and give it back to her. So everybody, that's a win-win across the board there.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And then for the burn of the week, and I may look to start finding these more because I busted straight up out loud whenever I read this one. So Brett Favre was in the news this week, for saying, about the vaccine and whatnot. But that wasn't the big thing that he was in the news for. It was more against him advocating against children playing tackle football, considering he played tackle football for a career and everything else. But it said, just now on CNN, Brett Favre would not say if he's vaccinated or not while advocating against children under 14 playing tackle football. And Jennifer Decker, who, if you remember, was the female
Jets employee,
analyst, Jets employee that received the infamous down there shot from Brett Favre, said, who knew to be scared of a little prick, but also own one. So that was a nice jab there. All right. Anybody got anything else before we wrap up the show?
Jason, how do you feel about OnlyFans?
Oh,
what? Why?
You hold the keys to the secret Instagram menu. You figure
Why I gotta feel some way about it?
OnlyFans announced this week that they will not allow any pornographic material. Apparently, you can still send pictures being nude, but you're not going to be able to do any. Yeah.
Do all the extra.
Well, there was there's certain individuals that I may or may not follow that tweeted out and that to check your sources and don't believe everything you read on the internet. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't have OnlyFans. I don't subscribe to anybody.
I don't see how you get away from that though. Like, this is what made you money. How do you just nip? I mean,
they said from the jump that's not what it was. It was never a platform for that specifically, but like
they made money for them. So
that's what's making you a killing now.
Mm-hmm. If it actually goes away, and I see somebody starting something else up.
Oh, of course.
There's already sites out there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, but you.
But you don't know, right? But
I'm just saying it's out there.
Right? You don't know.
I'm not saying it's me.
You're not that guy, right?
You know the minor league sites out there too, but you don't follow any of them.
This still got a single A, double A, triple A lineup of sites. Unbelievable. All right, with that being said, we'll wrap up the show with this. And this is a horrible transition. Not a good way to close the show with these two topics back and forth with my positive quote of the week to end the show and you talking about OnlyFans shutdown. When you want different for yourself, you have to start moving different. Old keys don't unlock new doors.
Sounding from my OnlyFans.
You're a Mark. I'm a Mark. Tell a Mark. And until next time, you can catch us around the way.